stage, please introduce yourself and tell people where to find you and go right into your presentation.
Okay, I sure will. Hello, everybody. I am Lillie Mae, creator of the Glambitious brand, and I also have a PR agency. LillieMaePR.com is the website for that agency, and I've been doing PR for over 10 years, to be honest with you. I went to UNC Chapel Hill, and so I studied media, communications, and public relations there. And then I was fortunate enough to have PR internships as a college kid with Atlantic Records and Universal Motown Records. So those, internships really honed my interest in public relations. And, since then, that was many, many moons ago, I've been able to confirm client interviews with like the Tom Joyner Morning Show, BET.com, Huffington Post, Black Enterprise, like the list goes on. So I've really, fortunately been able to accomplish a lot of media placements for clients. And through the Glambitious brand, I, help women and give them tips and tools to do their own PR, because oftentimes it's a little challenging when you're a new entrepreneur to hire a full-time publicist. That is quite an expensive investment sometimes. So I wanted to share, some DIY, do-it-yourself PR tips for emerging moguls, with the hopes that it gets you to the place financially to where you actually can hire a publicist full-time. So, let's talk a little bit about that part, when to know that it's the time to hire a publicist, right? And so the first thing I would have to say is, when you definitely have the investment budget for it. And so an investment budget means that, you have liquid money that you don't need for your business, for your staff, for yourself, but purely investment money. And the reason that I say that is because public relations is not an overnight success, pursuit, or hiring a publicist doesn't mean you'll be in Essence magazine tomorrow. It's a process. And oftentimes you have to be willing to invest for several months to get some of those higher end placements. And so that's the number one way to know that you're ready for a publicist, when you have several $1,000s that you can invest and you don't need a return on that money right away, because it is a process. Another, tip for determining when you need a publicist is when you have built, a bit of a track record for yourself already, which means, you have a business that people are talking about a little bit, or, you have a brand that is somewhat recognizable on social media. You may have already had a few media features, and so that's a good time to know, okay, I want to take it to the next level and get some of those higher end media features. Now's the time to hire a publicist. So those would be kind of the main two things I would say is when you're, financially ready for that investment, and when you've already put in the groundwork to honing in your brand, making sure that you have, very professional, high resolution photos, and your website is together and your social media has a very polished look. When all of those things are together and you have the investment budget and you just want to take things to the next level as far as, how many eyes and ears know about your business, or you want to increase your digital footprint, which basically means when people search you, they see, media opportunities. That's a good time, to hire a publicist. Next, I'll share what to look for, when you're hiring a publicist. And so I always encourage people, when hiring a publicist, not, it's not a one size fit all. Most publicists have a specialty. So they may specialize in working with beauty clients, like makeup artists, hairstylists, fashion stylists. Then you have some publicists that work with entertainers or musicians. So usually, a publicist has a niche. You want to work with a publicist that has a similar niche as your business, right? So that that she or he has the relationships with media outlets that cater to your target demographic, and media outlets that look for, a business such as yours to interview and feature. So that's one thing to look for when hiring a publicist. And another thing is to, ask the publicist to maybe provide, 5 to 10 media placements that they've confirmed within the last 60 days. And that, again, gives you an idea of their access to, media outlets or their connections with certain media outlets. And it gives you an idea of if the connections that they have fall in line with some of your PR goals. So those are two ways, to, I guess you could say, vet a publicist is going to be right for you, because it's definitely not a one size fit all. And so now I want to, share some do-it-yourself things for those ladies who may not be there yet. You're not quite in the place where you want to hire someone, but you do want to advance your visibility. I'm going to share some tips related to that piece. So, one thing that is very important, as I said, is laying the foundation or groundwork for your brand, right? Which means that you have professional photos that are high resolution and crisp, which means that your website is clean. Like I said, your social media is intact. You want to make sure that all of those things are in order before you start a PR plan for yourself, right? And if you're not sure, because sometimes, I've seen this a lot because I coach women around the world. I've seen that women, some women work with the same photographer for like the past 10 years, and that photographer doesn't have the best quality photos. So they're thinking that they're getting great photos, and it's like, really, the photographer's a little outdated. So to make sure that you do have all of those things together, I very much encourage you to at least book a PR strategy call with a public relations professional like myself, so that I can review all of those materials for you. I can review your photos. I can review your style, your social media, your website, your products, the cover of your book, like all of the aesthetics part, related to your business. It's very important to have a PR strategist review that before you start pitching yourself for media opportunities, just so that, someone like myself or, someone in a similar field, a business strategist, can make sure that all of those pieces of the puzzle are perfect for pitching. Because before you start to pitch media, you really want to make sure that you have the best chance at getting the opportunity or getting the interview when you pitch a media outlet. And the way to have that best chance is to consult with a PR strategist, which is usually a far smaller investment, so that, we have an hour to go over all those things and make sure, like, yes, okay, now you're ready for the limelight, you're ready for the local news, you're ready for Essence Magazine, or whatever your ideal outlets are. We can make sure that you're ready for that, right? So once you've done that piece and you have all of, that material together, you want to work on a media pitch. And that is another thing that sometimes, PR strategists like myself, we often offer an a la carte rate to write the pitch for you. And that way, that you have a very good, engaging pitch for media outlets to respond to, because, sometimes, and I've been on the media end before as a media professional, so I can definitely say, as media professionals, they get so many pitches, right? Hundreds of people emailing them to be featured or interviewed, that there's key things that they're looking for when someone emails them a media pitch. And you want to make sure that you have those things. So the number one thing they're looking for is a subject line that really grabs their attention. And the next thing that they're looking for is the reason that you should be interviewed on their outlet, like what makes your business or your story relevant to their outlet, right? So it's not enough to just have a great book or to have a great business. You need to tie it into that specific media outlet and let them know very simply why they should interview you, right? So if it's, for example, Essence Magazine, and you've created a beauty subscription box, okay? So there are a number of beauty subscription boxes out there. What makes yours special? So you need to find out, okay, what would make my beauty box special? So I had a client that had a subscription box that was filled with beauty products. And so when I put her pitch together, I pitched it earlier in quarantine as a way for women in quarantine to gain the self-care goodies right at their door. So it's like self-care at your doorstep. That was the pitch angle, right? And so that allowed, journalists to be more excited, like, oh, we are in quarantine and, self-care is a priority. So it would be nice to have items shipped to your door, like self-care in a box. So yeah, let's interview her about her box, right? So that's what you're looking for when you're creating a media pitch, is what makes your story exciting to the media outlet. And you do that by connecting it to something that's happening in this season of life, something that is unique. Like, this is the holiday season. Okay, a lot of people are still in quarantine. So kind of write down what's relevant to this season and incorporate that into your media pitch. And if, like I said, you're not a strong writer, definitely you can consult with a person like myself to help you write that pitch before you pitch media. Next, you want to create a media list, right? Obviously, you want to have your top 10 outlets on there, maybe Black Enterprise, Huffington Post, USA Today. But then you also want to start looking for local media outlets, podcasts, blogs, and even people that host interviews on Instagram Live, and creating a list of those outlets so that you have an organized, pitch plan that you're doing. So you're not just pitching this outlet today and another outlet tomorrow, but you actually have a plan in place where you're pitching, 10 outlets every day, or you're pitching 5 outlets a day and then following up on Wednesday. So you definitely want to create, a organized plan for pitching the outlets that, you want to be interviewed on. So that's the next step, is creating a media list. Now, one thing, I sometimes encourage